Hey guys, it's Friday and welcome to this new episode of Behind the Closed Doors. Now, we're still very close to Öland, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's an island off the coast of Sweden, which we're gonna visit today. It's a very big touristy attraction, and I hope that there are some really nice old fisher towns or some really nice scenery. But first, we go to the Mediamarkt. Now, what is Mediamarkt? It's a really big store with electronics and Blu-rays. Now, of course, we also have them in the Netherlands. But as you guys know, I love Scandinavian movies and series. And when you're so close to the source, that's the best way to shop, right? And hopefully score some really nice discounted products. Because with us at Mediamarkt, you can't really buy the Scandinavian movies and series. You can buy some, but they're often high priced or they're just not available. And on Netflix you can watch them, but I just like to own them on Blu-ray. So we're gonna shop for that. Maybe we stop by a castle, which is very close to here. And then we're gonna make the cross to Öland. And there we have a very special surprise for somebody. And I won't tell you yet what it is, because you have to watch this whole episode to see what happens there. But trust me, this is gonna be so much fun. So join us, and first we're gonna go to Mediamarkt. But first we have to, our camper has to pee. So we have to go to a little place we call a dumping ground, because he really has to go, he told me yesterday. In other words, we have to dump some of the grey water and pump some new white water. And grey water, by the way, is the water you use when you brush your teeth, take a shower. And black water, we don't have that in our camper, but that's actually what you normally use in the bigger RVs when you go to the restroom. So we only have grey water and white water. And white water is of course the drinking water. Grey water is like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, etc. So now you guys going like, okay, what do you use as black water? We actually use a separate tank which you can clean manually. And that's about it for RV information. So, Anouk, are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so we're ready to go. Let's go to Mediamarkt in Sweden. That's gonna be awesome. Okay, we arrived at Mediamarkt. Let's see what they have in Scandinavian movies and series. Yep, they got loads of Scandinavian stuff. Okay, a little bit of a bittersweet feeling. We got 3 Blu-rays from Arne. And the cool thing is, look at that price. 19 krone. That means actually that's around €2. So that's about $2.20 in that range. So that's very cheap for a Blu-ray. The bitter feeling was actually there were a lot more Blu-rays I was interested in. And I mean a lot. The only problem is no English subtitles. And that's a bit of a problem, because in all honesty, if I turn off the subtitles on a Danish or Swedish movie, I can actually not understand what they're saying. If I turn on the subtitles for Dutch or English, I can understand about 80% of what they're saying. So that's a little bit weird. But without subtitles, we can't take them with us. So that's a shame, but these were English subtitles. And only 19 krone. That's like ridiculously cheap. So we're gonna enjoy these. So. Okay, we arrived at the bridge to Öland, and again I hope I pronounced it correctly. And how do you shoot something like this? Well, the bridge of course is very interesting, but you can make it a little bit more interesting by again choosing a lower angle. Well, it doesn't make any difference. You see that? Hardly makes a difference. Well, the angle does, but it's not what I mean. Now, do you see these rocks over here and that little bit of a plant? Now, if you include something in the foreground, you can actually create scale, but also create some cool leading lines. And of course, something interesting in the foreground. So, let's go down a little bit. And this is a way more interesting shot, of course. Now, do this with an extreme 12mm lens, and you're in heaven. That's awesome. Now, talking about wide angles, another really cool thing you can do with a wide angle lens on the Sony is actually create a panoramic shot. And the wider the angle, the more you can use it. So in the newer firmware versions, you're not only limited to shooting like this, but you can actually also shoot like this. So you can do a portrait setting all the way around, creating a very, very high resolution panoramic shot. Of course it's JPEG, and you can also choose, of course, to do it in Lightroom yourself, but I just like the sweeping action. It's very quick and it looks really good. Okay, we're now in Öland and we're visiting the ruins in a little town called Borg. And this is Borg Graaf, oftewel probably Castle Borg or whatever. But there's not much left. just some stones and this. Still pretty cool to see, and we love ruins. Now what I showed you before is actually a chapel, and where we are going now, this should actually be the ruins of the castle. Sorry, fort, not castle. Huge difference. And I honestly think this is it. So, yep, this is it. And behold the wonder of some piles and rocks.
It was big.
It used to be very big, but now, well, there's not much left. So, well, that was interesting. So, thank you guys for watching and see you next time. No, I'm just kidding, there will be more scenes. Now, one of the things that I love to eat is fish. And Sweden, of course, is a country where you can get a lot of fish. But up until now we weren't that lucky. And we actually found this little restaurant over here. And they had fish. They only had one choice, and that was actually Portuguese fish. So I'm in Sweden eating Portuguese fish, but it was okay. Now let's hope that before we go home I can still score some real Swedish prepared fish. But I think the guy we're going to tonight will actually have some tips for that, because we're still on a very special mission, and I'm gonna tell you guys about that in a moment. Although they have Portuguese fish, the harbor is pretty nice. Now these you see here everywhere, and they remind me of donkey shot actually. So they're actually here 3 on a row. So let's take some pictures and enjoy the view. Here you see 3 in a row. Beautiful. Let's try the Sigma 12 to 24 to take some cool shots. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we're not done yet, because I told you about our special mission, right? Well, you know, sometimes you plan a vacation to Italy or Spain, and then the day that you leave, you get in an order from somebody for a Frank Doorhof flash bender, and you go like, we can't ship this now, and we'll be back in about 10 days, so our client has to wait for 10 days. So there's only one decision you can make. We didn't go to Italy, we didn't go to Spain, we actually went to Sweden, because that's where the guy lives who ordered. And a week, what did he order?
Flash bender.
The Frank Doorhof flash bender. So, we are now actually in Sweden, and we're gonna deliver the flash bender personally to the guy who ordered this. Now, one thing guys, and let me look very seriously into the camera. Don't expect, if you order from our online store, that I'm gonna deliver the flash bender or any other product myself personally. This is a real exception. But it's a fun one, right? And we were just kidding. We were planning to go to Sweden anyway. So, we are about 20 minutes from his house. And let's surprise him. Well, it's not really a surprise, because we had to email him if he was home for delivery. And we had to spoil the surprise a little bit, because I didn't want to be in front of a closed door. Because this is behind the closed doors, but I don't want to be in front of a closed door. So, let's join the guy who ordered the flash bender. And I think, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, so this is the guy who ordered the flash bender online. And got it personally delivered by Anne Week. So, there you go.
Thank you.
So that doesn't happen quite often.
No, look at this. This doesn't happen quite often. A lot of guys have my book.
Yeah, that's true. But you never come home and sign it.
No, I never come home. So imagine this. He's getting his flash bender delivered. I'm signing his book. You are one lucky guy. Okay, 3. And of course Anne Week is also signing the book. Cool thing is that they actually show us around in a store they own. It's from the father.
A boutique.
A boutique, and everything's fresh. And the cool thing is, now imagine this guys, people just put their money here, write down, and they take the stuff. Isn't it cool that that can still happen? And of course we're gonna end today by a cool barbecue with Jimmy, because that's the guy who we sold the flash bender to. The barbecue is burning, and we got some cool stuff over there, so this is gonna be fun. Guys, thank you so very much for watching today's episode, and tomorrow we'll be back and we'll do some sightseeing here on Öland. And again, think about the Mac Fun competition. Just email, tweet, Facebook or whatever you want which plugin from Mac Fun you would like and why. And after the weekend I will announce a winner. Thank you very much for watching and see you tomorrow.